Hi, I'm Paul Roberts, and I wanted to talk to you today about the differences between the high bar back squat and the low bar back squat. The high bar is what most people consider the back squat. It's our position when we have the bar just underneath the C7, thumbs around the bar, and we're lifting from this position. Mark Ripto, in Starting Strength, has made this other variation called the low bar, very famous, and creates a lot of confusion between what's the difference between the high bar and the low bar. There's only a few key differences. When Mark Ripto teaches the squat, he teaches a ton of stuff and distinguishes against a lot of the bad form that you see in certain types of big box gyms. But the differences between a good high bar back squat and Mark Ripto's low bar back squat are very small differences, because good form, should look the same pretty much. So the first key difference, of course, is the hand positioning. Right? So again, this is my high bar positioning, right? And then my low bar positioning, my hands go behind the bar and I'm going to go slightly wider so that I can get a little bit lower. It's about 2 inches to 3 inches further down my back. That's the difference in the hand positioning. Wrist should be neutral. Okay? It does take a lot of shoulder mobility to do that. So if you're in your low bar back squat and you have your wrists cranked back, you don't have enough shoulder mobility in terms of external rotation, maybe to get into that position. That's where you can use a bar like a Duffalo bar, which has a curvature, which would make that much easier for you. Not that it's a replacement for doing your mobility for your shoulders, but until you get more mobile, it's something that you can do. One of the other differences in the high bar and low bar is this waist angle, right? And the difference is very, very slight, right? In the high bar, I'm going to be slightly higher up, right? Versus the low bar is maybe here. It's really, really small, because both techniques of squatting require you keep your barbell straight across the midline, meaning that when I squat down, okay, let's say I'm standing on this line, right? I got to keep the bar path perfectly straight. The moment that I drift forwards, I'm going to cause a lot of force on my back, and it's going to really limit how much you can squat. The low bar and the high bar require you to be symmetric across your midline. Okay? Midline is the line that divide your body this way. So we want the bar straight over our center of gravity so that there's no extra force on our back. Once you require that, and both types of squats require you maintain your pelvis from coming underneath you, so no butt winking, I need to keep the bar straight, I need to keep my pelvis in position. The squats really kind of converge in terms of looking very much the same. I have two side by side that you're going to see a little bit later in the video, which will show you, but they look very much the same. The other key difference between the techniques are basically how they're coached. For example, Mark Ripto is famous for saying nipples down, but we also would say chest out, right? It's really the same thing. What we're trying to do is to keep our spine straight and our body pressurized, right? Head position is the same, we're looking down. We have to look down a little bit more, maybe on the low bar squat than the high bar squat, but it's pretty much the same movement. What about differences in how much you should be able to do? It should be the same. I have a video you're going to see of me doing the same exercise, the same squat at 275 in high bar versus low bar, and the perceived effort is the same. High bar back squat, 275, 3. Low bar back squat, 275, 3. You know, you might get a little bit more hip action and posterior chain on the low bar, and I think that's why it's a superior exercise. If you ask me, I get more legs, more hips, and that's great. Whereas with the high bar squat, I tend to get a little bit more quads than I would with the low bar. But at the same time, I need enough shoulder mobility to do low bar. So for some people, if they don't have the shoulder mobility, it causes extra, problems. They have to do more work on their chest and things like that, and deal with shoulder problems. So unless you have good shoulders or a specialty barbell like the duffel bar, maybe it's not the best, type of technique for you. As far as the kind of requirements to avoid, tipping your fishbowl too far one way or the other, or doing what we call the butt wing when we come down and we collapse the spine. You'll see later on in the video too. I show you exactly what that looks like with an empty barbell and how to avoid it. The way you avoid butt winking or doing a anterior pelvic rotation, right, is you have to pull the muscles up here in your back and hold your pelvis in place when you squat down. That may limit your depth to gain more mobility, but it's not good to go deeper than you can. All squat companies, whether it's Starting Strength or Conjugate or CrossFit, everybody teaches the same thing in terms of depth. We're looking for hip crease right below the knee with a tight pelvis. If you cannot get to here, you have to build more strength at your end range so that you can hold your pelvis in place, because rotating your pelvis forwards or turning up your belt buckle, as it would be, is going to cause lower back problems at higher weights. The other difference I hear is like the turnout, right? Like how far out your feet can turn out. Starting Strength teaches that it does not really that important. You turn out as much as you need, and that's really kind of based on this awareness of different ankle mobility. The better ankles you have, e.g. they can kind of have a bigger dorsiflexion angle, the straighter your feet can be. If you don't have really good ankles, because you played soccer or basketball as a youth, for example, you'll have to turn out more. Most people will have anywhere from 10 to 30 degrees turnout. Again, different squat companies prefer one over the other. Either way, it's still a squat, trying to keep the weight off our lower back and straight over our center of gravity. I hope the video was helpful. Send me some comments if you have any other questions. Thanks.